Well, it's that time of the year again. Training camp is about to start. Hope springs eternal for all 32 NFL teams. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys look to try and get back to the top where they belong in the NFC East, at least. This is the gray area right here on 105.3 The Fan. Appreciate everyone joining me here. Kevin Gray, of course, of 105.3 The Fan. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things here on 105.3 The Fan. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel also at Kevin Gray Sports. The biggest storylines for your Dallas Cowboys heading into training camp 2021. Of course, our training camp coverage for 105.3 The Fan, your undisputed home of Cowboys football, is goody liquor for 2021. Sean and RJ, also the G-Bag Nation, will be out there giving you tremendous coverage of all things Camp Cowboys 2021 out in Oxnard, California, where the Cowboys have a numerous amount of storylines heading into this upcoming training camp and into the season. Obviously, this will all be documented for all of us to watch and take place as, of course, the Dallas Cowboys for the first time in 13 years are on Hard Knocks on HBO. So we'll be able to chronicle how this training camp goes on throughout the duration of their time in Oxford. But for me, several things obviously come to mind for your Cowboys going into this year. Obviously, they start at the very top with your man, Dak Prescott, coming off of a devastating ankle injury suffered in Week 5 against the New York Football Giants, a guy who threw for over 1,800 yards in 4+ games, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, was on his way to putting up some monstrous numbers last season before ultimately suffering that broken ankle. We obviously know that the backup quarterback position was not anything to call home about with guys like Andy Dalton, Ben DiNucci, and your man Garrett Gilbert. So obviously this all starts and ends with number 4, who signed his 4-year, $160 million contract this offseason, betting on himself and getting paid by the Dallas Cowboys. Your man Stephen Jones, the executive vice president and, of course, right-hand man to Jerry Jones, said to NBC5's Pat Doney, said, hey, man, it was a mistake for us not getting to get Dak Prescott paid a little bit earlier. It might have been a little bit easier for everybody. You're probably right, Stephen. But no, here we are nonetheless. Dak Prescott with a myriad of weapons. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup was going into a contract year himself. And Dak Prescott hopefully will be fortified by the wall that will be in front of him. That is the returning Leo Collins, Tyron Smith, and Zach Martin, who dealt with concussion and calf injury a year ago. Of course, Tyron Smith missing most of last season with neck surgery. Leo Collins missing last year with hip surgery. So obviously you're hoping that this offensive line is able to help a guy in Ezekiel Elliott, who last year had a down year, the worst of his professional career, had 6 fumbles, lost 5 of them, averaged just 4 yards a carry last year. And you did not see the burst. You did not see the speed. You did not see the speed and quickness of Ezekiel Elliott, who this summer has clearly put his body in a position to give us an idea that he is in the best shape of his life. You've seen all the Instagram workout hero videos, the 6-pack that he's developed on the Feed Me tattoo there. Ezekiel Elliott looks like he's ready to have a comeback season for the ages. The 2-time rushing champion looking to get back to the form as a top 5 running back in this year's NFL. Not to mention, you've got guys like Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, the number 1 and 2 wide receivers on this football team. Amari Cooper being your obvious number 1, CeeDee Lamb your number 2. Michael Gallup going into a contract year in his final year in his rookie deal with the Dallas Cowboys. What kind of numbers will he put up, and could he find himself getting money whipped in free agency by the time the 2021 NFL season is over? Those are a lot of the different things happening on the offensive side of the football, led by, of course, offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. But also you go to the defensive side of the football. A team last year that gave up a franchise record 473 points was 31st in the National Football League, giving up nearly 160 yards on the ground, a franchise worst 34 passing touchdowns, which was 3rd worst in all of the NFL last year. A team that was awful when it came to 3rd down conversion rate against. This team defensively was awful last year. Obviously, Mike Nolan is fired. Dan Quinn is brought in. You used your first 6 picks in this year's NFL draft on the defensive side of the football, and now you put yourself in a position to be able, if you're the Dallas Cowboys and Dan Quinn, to try and improve with guys like Micah Parsons, the number 12 overall pick out of Penn State, and of course Kelvin Joseph, who's looking to compete for a starting corner slot alongside Trevon Diggs. But this is not just about Randy Gregory trying to get himself back to being the kind of player that he believes he can be with more opportunities on this defense. This isn't just about DeMarcus Lawrence trying to prove people that he's just more than a guy that can help against the run. This is more than just a defensive line that is trying to improve up the middle with guys like Quentin Bohanna and others. Tristan Hill coming back from a torn ACL, Neville Gallimore flashing out of Oklahoma. It's about more than that. It's more than just about your man Leighton Vander Esch, who was declined his fifth-year option by this Dallas Cowboys football team. It's more than just Jalen Smith, who's coming into the most important season of his career. A lot of folks thinking he should be out already from this Dallas Cowboys football team. It's more than just Donovan Wilson in the secondary trying to be the strong safety that the Cowboys believe he should be. It's about a collective will for this Dallas Cowboys defense to show the rest of the National Football League that they aren't the national joke that they were a season ago. That starts with an attitude, a mindset that permeates from the top down, and the top being Dan Quinn, of course, who helped with the Legion of Boom defenses when he was in Seattle, of course, helped the Atlanta Falcons get to a Super Bowl several years ago. We all know what happened there. But this is about a defense looking to get back to some of the fundamentals that it had a few years ago when we thought Leighton Vander Esch, when we thought Jalen Smith was the potential future linebacker duo. This isn't just about Jabril Cox and, Micah Parsons trying to make an impact. This isn't just about a guy like Nashawn Wright, a selection out of Oregon State trying to put himself in position to be an impact player. This is more than just about Brent Urban and Terrell Basham or others that were signed on this defense. It's more than just about Keanu Neal and also DeMonte KZ, the Atlanta Falcons that the Dallas Cowboys signed this offseason. This is about the Cowboys' willingness on defense to not play the kind of soft football that they did a year ago. This is about a team that can be complementary on both offense and defense. Can they put themselves in that position to ultimately do so? Those are the storylines on defense. Can a team in the Dallas Cowboys be the kind of defense that we think that offense is going to be and match the kind of production that ultimately we think this offensive explosion will see in 2021? Can they be, for Mike McCarthy, who a lot of folks aren't necessarily feeling right now when it comes to being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, can he put himself in position to be the kind of coach that we thought he was going to be when he came out of retirement, or I shouldn't say out of retirement, came from a year off when he was fired after being with the Green Bay Packers? Can he be that guy once again? We'll see, obviously, right? As a Cowboys fan, as someone who watches and covers this team, as someone who listens to the Tolos, who understand they're sick of watching this Cowboys football team not be at the top and the pinnacle of the National Football League. It's been 25 plus years since this Cowboys team has won a Super Bowl. Expectations abound, as they always do, but more so this year than some others here in recent memory. This is a Cowboys team in the quote-unquote biggest season in the NFL ever, with 17-plus games being played. The time is now. The Cowboys have a tremendous opportunity in a pathetic NFC East to take a hold and put a stranglehold on this division. It is up to the players on this football team, the eventual 53-man roster, to be able to put themselves in the best position week over week over week, to be able to put themselves in a spot to be at the top of the NFC East. It starts with Mike McCarthy. It starts with Kellen Moore. It starts with Dan Quinn. But more importantly than anything else, it starts with these players. Can these players put behind them what they believe is rightfully theirs when it comes to being a Dallas Cowboy and earn the right to be called Cowboys? That is up to us to watch and determine during training camp. We will see them in the Hall of Fame game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will eventually see them against the Arizona Cardinals and others during the preseason. And then when we get to brass tacks, when the Cowboys take on the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, well, all of this hard work, the sweat, the blood, and the tears that they will put forth during training camp, as documented by Hard Knocks and us here at 105.3 The Fan, will it all be worth and culminate in what they believe ultimately should be theirs? And that's rightfully trying to be Super Bowl champions once again. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right here for 105.3 The Fan here on YouTube. This has been another episode of The Gray Area on 105.3 The Fan, your undisputed home of Cowboys football. We'll talk to you later. Peace.